Here we are again. I went for a Sunday night this time. Hopefully it'll suit some of you. And for any of you who tuned into my previous streams, you might recognise these two items. This, I'll go for the battery first. This is the battery that I fried on stream 1 and stream 2 and fixed in stream 3 to good effect, and it's still working. I wanted to show you that first of all. And if there's any doubt, yeah, it's going. But anyway, the next item you'll remember, hopefully, was this little one. That's going well now. If you remember in the last stream, I fixed it, but there was smoke billowing out of the side of it. And that's because the field coil was covered in grease and I had to take it out and clean it. So it's going well now. So there's that. That's not why we're here tonight. We have 1, 2 Makitas to fix. And I think I'll start with this one. And how I'm going to fix this one. First of all, I'll show you what's wrong with it. Seems to be going alright, but there's something wrong in the gearbox. It's not engaging, but the motor is fine. So what I've done to fix that, instead of stripping down the motor, I have bought a donor one, which the motor's fine, but the motor is anything but. So if there's anybody in the chat wants to say anything, speak away or say something. Without further ado, I'm going to just start taking this to bits. And I'm going to use our smoky friend from last week. Brandon Tubbs is there. Good to see you, Brandon. Brandon, I can't let these Makitas win. These Makitas are going to take over my life. If I get defeated here, I'll have to give up. So this is what I intended to do 2 streams ago, was to strip this one down completely, remove the gearbox, take the gearbox from the donor drill, and fix it. That didn't happen because the donor drill that I got was this one. It's a different model, which I've since fixed last week and explained earlier. There was smoke flew out it because the field coil was dirty, but I have since fixed that. Good man. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for the comment. Brandon. Magic is not what I do, Brandon, but I do my best. So, we're all stripped down now. Anybody else in the chat? Anybody else want to say anything? Oh, forgot this one. The sneaky one. They might be useful later on. So here we are. This should be quite simple. That's what I said 2 streams ago. What I have to do is remove this gearbox, like this. Now if you see what's wrong, I'll hold this right up to the camera. When I rotate that, those little gears inside there, if you could see that, should be rotating, but they're not because there's something broke. And I just don't have the time or patience to fix that and take it all to bits. And the drill, in truth, is not worth it, because when you can buy a donor one like this for £13 off eBay, why would you bother giving yourself 4 hours work fixing the gearbox? So this is the donor drill. I'm going to get this stripped down as quick as possible. And if there's anybody else in the chat has any questions or anything they want to say, or just check in, don't be afraid. These Makitas cannot win. Time is money, Brandon. You're right. Time is money. Time is actually more precious than money. So thanks for anybody that's watching this stream, because you're giving me and my channel the most valuable thing in the world, your time. And I appreciate that. I believe we got this round, yeah. I have lost a couple of battles to these Makitas, but I have not lost the war. The war will be won tonight. Tonight is when I win. Right, so gearbox off. Yep. Nice. And there should have been a wee bit on there, but that's all right. We'll get that together now. So hopefully it's not a different edition than the Cogs Foot. These are DHP 482. They're not my favourite drill. They're not even my favourite Makita, you know. So it's a matter of lining things up properly now, and then we're good to go. This should be a sample one. I've said that before. If you can see inside this drill how basic it is, it's just got a basic little brushed motor. You have a switch, trigger switch. It just goes straight down into the battery connector. There's no electronic circuitry in this at all. It's just a sham of a thing, to be honest. Brushes are alright. I'll take a look at the brushes. They seem to be in good condition. I think there's a wee thing that's supposed to go in there. I'll try it anyway. I think that's supposed to go in there somewhere. No, maybe not. Anyway, I'll just get on with it. Yep. I wonder if that'd be as simple as that. This is too easy tonight. Do you know what's going to happen tonight? It's going to be boring because nothing's going to go on fire. I'm not going to burn my fingers. There's not going to be a pile of Makita piled up, pile of butts, and no fixed drills. Look at that here. All slid into place. It's all working. This is far too easy, guys. Either of them will do. They're both the same. Luckily enough, I have an alarm to fix, so not run out of things to do. I have a few other things in store after these Makitas, if they go right. A few other things I can show you. Unless you're bored. Anybody else in the chat, or anybody else want to check in, say hello? This is how easy this should have been in the first stream. I should have something good for you next week as well. I'm waiting on something coming on, and I'm going to tear it down and show you what's wrong with it. It's an SDS machine. Should get messy. Two screws in the back. I had to do something about the Makita situation because they were starting to build up. So we're going to have to test this now to see if it's going. Oh yes. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it was nearly a good drill. So that's one down. One down, one Makita completed. So Makita number 2 coming right up. Look at this beautiful piece of work. This is a DHP 453. There was no label on her, but I knew, because this is another one of my least favorite drills, and I'll show you why when I open it up. This is basic as hell. This thing, I don't know how anybody could call this a professional drill. I don't even know. I'm not even sure which of these two that I'm fixing tonight is the worst one. The only thing is, I never showed you what this one was doing before I took the screws out, but I'll show you now. That don't sound healthy. No, this is one of my least favourite drills. Not just one of my least favourite Makitas. This is in the Hall of Fame. I've been one of the worst things I've ever experienced. Thought all my screws were out, but maybe they're not. It's just holding on. It's just been stubborn. So I'm going to show you inside this one. This is a real. They're not expensive, but they wouldn't need to be. It's got a basic little sealed motor. You can't change the brushes in that. It's got the basic little switch, and again, straight down to the battery connector. But I think some of the more eagle eye among you can see what's wrong with this. Look at the rust in that. I actually blew some of the dust out of that. That was filthy. Before I diagnosed it, I had this open before. And it says, if I get a new motor, I'll be good. So that's what I did. I got a new motor on eBay for £16.37. Now, I don't know. £16.37 is not a lot of money. So if you have one of these lying around and you want to use it for DIY and it's not going well, I think it's still probably worth £16.37 if you do it yourself. Anybody else in the chat, or anybody want to ask any questions? Nope. Then I shall proceed. Basic is the word. So right. So what you do is you take off this part of it, and there's a little bracket screwed onto the motor. That's 2 screws. Oh shit. Soldered. I'm gonna have to get the soldering iron out tonight. Oh my god. Anyway. It looks the same anyway. That's heartening. That is heartening. It goes that way, doesn't it? Anyway. So get this thing screwed on. Makita is my nemesis. There's no doubt about it. Anybody in the chat want to say anything or want to ask any questions? How much do you have in that drill now? I don't know how much you have on it. Do you mean financially? Definitely eat your lunch anyway. That's one of the most important meals of the day. I didn't think I was going to have to solder this tonight. That's suboptimal. Anyway, I'll see what I can do. Hello Martin, how are you? Let's see if we get this gearbox today now. Oh. Anybody else in the chat? Anybody else want to check in, say hello, say where you're from? Anything at all? Makita is my nemesis. Anyway. This was supposed to be the easy one. I don't think I'm going to ever fix another Makita live. I think me and live Makitas is dead. Oh, definitely better than the motor was on it. You're right, William. Oh, how much do I have invested in it? Well, this one belongs to somebody, and I'm fixing it for them. So I haven't done anything invested in that. I'm just going to charge them for the price of the donor drill. This one was supposed to be the donor drill, so I own this now. I don't know, I might give it to somebody, I don't know. This one belongs to somebody as well, and I'll get the price of the motor off them, or probably a wee bit of labour off them. Nothing too serious. Maybe £25 or something. But I'm probably down £25. Probably doing this for fun at this point, you know. But whatever. You have to do something, don't you? So that's the motor on, anyway, now. I'll see what the best way to do this is now. I've got a minor dilemma. I wasn't planning to do any soldering on this particular string, but I might have to. I don't think I got any experience to crimp on this going. Anyway, whatever. So, anybody else in the chat? Anything? William's from Michigan, and my friend Brandon Tubbs is from Lafayette in Louisiana, and Martin's in Park Village. Martin's nearby. Martin's about 8 miles away from me, so he's nearby. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Um, there's no easy way around it. Oh, I wasn't planning to do this evening. Here we go. So, and get that out of there anyway. That is of no use to man or beast. No living creature can't take any joy from that anymore. Oh, did you get the spot welder, Kieran? No, Kieran, you'll be alright with the spot welder. I never spot welded before I got mine, and I was spot on. You've watched me spot welding, so you can be the judge. And the more batteries you do, the more experience you get, and the easier it'll be. And I've noticed started to get a wee bit tighter in the spot welding, because some of my early efforts were quite rough, you know. Soldering is an art. It might be an art, but I'm not an artist. I'm not very good at it. I just don't know if I should be doing it live. But here we are. The stars have aligned that that's going to happen. But this was going to be very, very boring if everything went according to plan. Here's another thing that another piece of equipment I'm very happy to own. It's just become nearly even a more important part of my arsenal than the spot welder, because I was using a gas soldering iron and an electric one, and I didn't enjoy using them at all. So this has been a real revelation. I like the way it heats up, and the green light stays solid when it heats up, and then when you take out the battery, the red light stays on till it goes down, and it's very, very quick in heating up too. Very quick. Tell me if I'm doing this wrong, because I am not a soldering expert by any stretch, any imagination anyone would have. Oh. This way you don't solder live, you don't know how to solder. Might be there with solder one now. Right, I'm going to look at the chat here for a second. No, William, you'd be happy enough with a spot welder. Tapped though. Use very fine nickel strips with it, because it's handy. It's not very powerful, but it's so handy. But the nickel strips that you'll be using will have to be very fine, because it's not going to weld the, for example, the original strips that are in the batteries. It's not powerful enough. But if you're a novice to battery repair, I would say this. It's a very good thing to be working with fine strips, because the fine strips, if anything's wired incorrectly or connected incorrectly in the batteries, the strip will melt and it won't cause an overload. The strip will act like a fuse. It'll give up first before the cell overloads or anything. I'm not going to tell you how I found it out. Anybody else in the chat, or anybody else want to ask anything? Any Makita experts out there? Can tell me how I'm fixing this wrong? There. It ain't pretty, but I think it might do. Anybody else in the chat, or anybody want to ask any questions? Right. So the magic comes now when I put all this together and it goes. This is where all the magic happens now. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to hold. Give that a little push. I'm just reading the chat, Brandon, there. Dan Bosch. Your flexi click's giving you bother. We'll just see. This is looking good. They're almost good. Almost good. No, it's not something in there, right? We'll see. Oh, that's a nice click. It's nice when everything clicks into place the way it should. That's my favourite sound in the world, when something clicks into place like that. Aye, that's good. So, rough soldering, everything back together, or in place the way it should be. And I'll put this back together. See what I mean with this little walkie soldering iron. One of my favourite things. I've switched it off, and I've still have the battery in. It'll show a red light to show that tip's still warm. So let that cool down for a moment here. I'll probably not need that for the rest of the evening. So here we go. We'll put Makita 2 back together and see if it's going to go. Makita 1 went back together easier. I thought this was going to be the easy one. I'm glad it's going alright. No one's caught fire yet. Haven't burnt myself. Oh, I see what's wrong there now. Wire's a bit short. It's going to work now. Soldered it a bit too close. Oh, yeah. It's back together again. Anybody else in the chat? Any other questions? Any other thoughts? No, that's too tight. It's back together and I'll be able to move. There's a little thing in the speed selector. It's a stupid thing. It's a wire thing. A wee flat metal thing. And it doesn't, it's not easy to get in the right position. The stupid things like that to keep you from getting these sort of things completed. I'll show you what it looks like. You see that this thing is giving me trouble. This thing. So the idea is that goes up in here, way up in there. With a switch to slide on. It holds this, it gives a little bit of resistance, and this switch slides into position where it's supposed to go. It's too tight. Right. What's a good thickness for strips for batteries? I'd need to check, but I think it's 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter strips will be the ones that you'll be using with your spot welder, Kieran. They're the ones that'll be most suitable for your spot welder, because anything else is going to be sort of too thick. There's two benefits. It's easy for your spot welder to weld, and second benefit, as I said, it acts like a bit of a fuse if you get an overload situation. Even you get an overload after you fix the battery, that's going to be the weakest link, because we'll see what to do with that battery. If you remember the battery from last week, this one, it was one of the strips that melted, which probably saved the cells when I was boosting another battery with it. I probably saved the cells, so there was that. There is a benefit to it. It's too tight there. It's always something stupid like this is going to, after you do all the hard work, you know, after you do all the soldering, stripping, whatever else you got to do, it's this here's going to make your life difficult. But that's the fun of it. This is what I do. That feels a little bit better. We'll try that. We'll put it together. Put it together. But Kieran, if you ever want to know anything about the spot welder, but once you use it a couple of times, you'll know as much as me, to be honest. But if you ever want to know anything, just put a comment in one of my videos, anyone at all. I'll see it. And I will answer, because I answer all the comments, unless I don't understand the question, or somebody's been deliberately abusive without being hilarious. Because I say, put in some comments if you want that are abusive, as long as they're hilarious. If you can't be nice, be hilarious. So I'm going to put this together. And how we're doing for time? Oh, it's only 38 minutes in. This is going to be a short stream. Unless you have any other questions or anything else that you need to see tonight. Right. What do I see? I never tested this to see if it's going yet right enough. There could be another sting in the tail with this thing. Makita are the only company that I know of that uses crosshead screws rather than T10 Torx to hold their power tools together. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But anyway, it's a moment of truth now. You want to see that old motor come out? Just looks horrible. Here we go. It's too tight, look. I'll have to open it again. It's too tight. You can't change the speed on it. Not even going well. Makita is my nemesis. Anyway, let's get this thing open again. See if we can start it in 10 minutes. Anybody else in the chat, anything to add or anything to ask? Screws aren't even good in this straw. This straw was new, it wasn't good. It's less good now. It's holding that sort of thing. Dear, dear. Me and Makita are not going to be long-term friends. The looks of things. Especially not these old things. It's just this thing here that's causing the tightness in the switch. We'll see. Anybody else, anything in the chat to say or anything you want to talk about? Makita definitely is my nemesis. There's no doubt about it. Makita's got a vendetta against me. Next boy I see come with Makita, I don't know what I'll do with him. I can't be held responsible for my actions. You're all right. What's the difference between the black and white Makitas and blue ones? There's no real difference. I've seen white ones and sort of the bluey green ones of these. and they're both made in the same place, same year of manufacture, everything. So there's really no difference in the colour. I don't know why they bring out that white edition, because it's even worse looking than the normal one. There is a bit of a sort of an urban myth that the white Makitas are poor quality. The white Makitas are poor quality, but so's the other ones. So's the other ones. The other ones are no good either. They're equally bad. They're all equally bad in their own way. So this Makita might beat me tonight. Not because of this wee switch thing. I just think she's got another sting in the tail. I think she's gonna do what the other ones did the other nights. Just do enough to make sure that I don't get it fixed. We will see. Feels better now. It feels more like the thing now. So anybody else in the chat? Anybody want to ask any more questions or anything else you want to see? I was going to show you how to check the voltage at flexvolt as well, if I have time. It's only going to take 2 minutes, if anybody's interested in that. So you can check the voltage of a flexvolt with plus and minus terminal like an ordinary battery, like an ordinary XR battery. But if you there's a thing you have to do to test if she's been out 54 volt when she's on a flexvolt tool. There's a little process you do. I'll show you how to do that. This wants more screen time. If this doesn't go now, I might move on to something completely different. There's a better screw, you know. If anybody needs any Makita screws, I'm your man. I have spare ones. I just think these drills, these 453s and the 482s, I just think they have no place in a professional range. They're DIY at best. DIY at best, these things. That's not even a well good drill there. When I put the new motor in last week. It's a slightly older one, it's a 456. Now, I'm going to see if it's going to go. She's not going well. £16.37 motor is not worth the money. I'm just going to look at the chat. Brandon, Impact Nation Tools, taking the sun out for a stroll. Thanks for checking in, Brandon. It's good to see you in the chat. Brandon's got a great channel. If you're interested in tools, check him out. He's a good guy, he's got a good channel as well. This is going like a... I'm going to coin the phrase ball of dung. It's going like a ball of dung. I got the speed selector fixed anyway. That new motor is not going well. That is suboptimal. Makita, genuine parts. DC motor. It's actually starting to run better. Yeah. If it runs a while, it might get a wee bit better, but I just still think they're terrible at all. So I'm going to call that fixed. That's 2 Makitas down. And I'm going to show you before we go, if anybody's still interested, one more thing. It wouldn't be me if there wasn't batteries involved. Because I think I've sort of become into a battery niche more than anything. Where's the other left? This battery. Oh, it's right here. It's under my nose. This is a flexvolt. This is a 6 amp flexvolt, but what I'm going to show you works on any flexvolt. I'll try and get it as close as possible. If you're testing the voltage in a flexvolt, you'll just do what you normally do. You'll go to the plus and the minus terminal like this here, and you'll plug your little meter in. That is showing 17, but how do you know if all the cells are going? With that, you won't. Doing that, you won't. But what you do is, there's one called a C1 and a C3. It's the 2 next terminals over beside the negative terminal. You connect those 2 together, and there's a slider here. It slides in when you're flex volt, and you will see. I'll show you what voltage this is now. If you slide that in, that one's a bit low. That's getting 51.3 volts. But that's how you test the voltage of a flex volt battery in the 54 volt range. So I wanted to show you that before we went. Well, thanks for everybody who tuned in tonight. It's been a great stream. I personally think I won and the Makita's lost. And thanks to everybody who commented, everybody watched the stream, everybody watches my channel, everybody subscribed, everybody likes, everybody hates. Thank you all, and good night.